What's cracking, guys? Bruce Madsen here, your host show, Metro Scout Fantasy Football. Today, we're dropping another mock draft, getting you ready for your rookie drafts, getting you ready for NFL drafts, because you know I'm here for you. This one's going to be a 2-round Superflex rookie mock. And I got some more rookie mock drafts up my sleeve here. So, if you want another one here next couple days, drop me 50 likes, and I'll even make it a 3-rounder for you. Get you a little bit extra players. Another thing I want to do is I want to answer some of you guys' questions. So in this video, in the comments, drop some questions on your teams, Dynasty, rookie drafts, whatever. Maybe if you want to see what kind of recipes I like or whatever you want. Drop them in there, and in the next few days, maybe a week or so, I'm going to let them curate a little bit. I'll do a video on that, answering your guys' questions for you, and then we'll do that every so often. That way we can interact with each other. I don't have a Patreon or anything like that, but I do want to give back to you guys, and this is one of the ways I can do that. So, let's dig in to this 2-round Superflex rookie mock draft. Let's dig into the first round of this rookie mock draft, and with the 101 pick, we selected Breece Hall from Iowa State. He is the top skill player in this draft. He's top running back, wide receiver, and it's really between him and Malik Willis for the 101 pick in Superflex. From a fundamental standpoint, a lot of people are going with the quarterback. Also, from a pure talent perspective, a lot of people are going with Breece Hall. Pick your poison here. I can make a case for either one. I usually tend to do that because I like to analyze players, but Breece Hall at the 101 in either format's not a bad pick. At the 102, I bet you can guess who went here, and that was Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty, and traditionally, he is the 101 in a lot of Superflex drafts, but he also falls to the 102 from what I'm seeing. Maybe sometimes the 103, depending on how that league values quarterback. This guy's got the Konami code, he's got a big arm, and will be drafted in the first round. At the 103 spot, we saw our first wide receiver come off the board, and it's Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas. Going to be a first rounder. The fantasy football community loves him. Can get you some yak, some big playability, and has a good production profile. Next player coming off the board here at the 104, they selected Drake London, wide receiver from USC. He could be the first wide receiver selected in this year's draft. Was very productive this year until he had the ankle injury. Big play wide receiver, can get downfield and box out defenders. Going to be interesting to see where he goes in the draft. To the 105 pick, another wide receiver come off the board. You can probably guess it. It's Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. A lot of people have him as the wide receiver 1 in the class, and he's a very nuanced player. He's very technical, has good ball skills, can rise up, climb out the building, and catch the ball. Might be the first wide receiver drafted in this year's class too. It's going to be a top-tier first-round pick, maybe even selected in the top 10. It's going to be between him and Drake London, but I look for Garrett Wilson to hold high draft capital in rookie drafts. Moving on to the 106 pick, and here they selected running back Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M. Big-bodied running back who packs some burst in the open field, can handle a 3-down workload, and can catch the ball in the backfield. Going to the 107, and I swear this wasn't me, but they went with one of my guys. And this is getting to the point where people make jokes when I'm in the draft room, like they don't want to draft these guys because they want me to have them. But here they drafted David Bell at 107. One of the highest spots I've seen him in these mocks. Usually I see him like the 201 range, maybe 112, 111, 110 at the highest. 107, I think on this channel that I covered, highest he's been drafted. I love it. He's been productive since his freshman year and all throughout his career. Good ball skills, good body control, and can climb the ladder a little bit. Moving on to the 108 pick, another wide receiver's going off the board here, and here they drafted Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State. Will be a first-round selection. Could get paired with a good quarterback since he's going to go in the back end of that first round. Might be a riser once everything's said and done. He's a good nuanced player, and I'm interested to see where he goes in the draft. At the 109 spot here, we have a tremendous value, especially for a running back with his production profile. He was very productive last year, and that's Kenneth Walker, running back from Michigan State. I've seen some drafts where he's going top 4. It's 1 QB-ish, but usually if you throw in the quarterback, he's top 5, usually in those. But Kenneth Walker right now at the 109 spot is a big discount considering what he did at the Combine, considering what he did last year during the season with his first year at Michigan State. I feel like he's going to be drafted a little bit higher than the 109 spot, if not in the top 3 once we figure out his landing spot. Moving to the 110. Another wide receiver off the board. One of the last first rounders of the actual NFL draft, and that's Jameson Williams. Wide receiver from Alabama. This guy's explosive. He can get downfield. He's a nuanced route runner. Could be the sneaky play of this first round. Might end up being the most productive wide receiver in this draft. Again, he's going to be falling the back half of the first round. Could get the opportunity to go into a team with a good quarterback, a good situation, along with his talent. We got to see. But Jameson Williams does have some goods in his game. To the 111. Second quarterback going off the board. I like getting the quarterbacks here in the back half of the first round because there's less risk because you're not paying as much. 111 here, Matt Corral. Quarterback from Ole Miss. Honestly, I think he might be the best quarterback in this draft. I had him as the QB1 throughout the season. I think from a fantasy sense, Malik Willis has that upside. But I think Matt Corral, though, he could be just the better passer between all these quarterbacks. Also has a little bit of rushing ability and should be drafted in the first round as well. I really want to see where he goes in the draft because situation might matter big time for him. At 112, finish up this first round, we got another quarterback. I love quarterbacks in the back half of this first round because it's a tremendous value with the upside, and it's Sam Howell from North Carolina. I like him too as a passer. I think he's a very good quarterback. He's done some good things during his career at North Carolina. He looked good as a freshman. He can pinpoint the ball, sling it downfield a little bit, can run a little bit as well, over 800 yards rushing this year. And with him being in the back half of this first round, last pick of the first round for that matter, this is a good value. And that's it for the first round of this Superflex rookie mock draft. Let me read off these picks for you real quick and we'll move on to the second round. But the 101, Breece Hall. 102, Malik Willis. 103, Treylon Burks. 104, Drake London. 105, Garrett Wilson. At the 106, Isaiah Spiller. 107, David Bell. 108, Chris Olave. 109, Kenny Walker. 110, Jameson Williams. 111, Matt Corral. 112, Sam Howell. And now it's time to go to the second round of the Superflex rookie mock draft. Another quarterback's coming off the board here. I think it's a good value, and it's Kenny Pickett from Pitt. And with him going to the first pick of the second round, there's really no loss here because, one, he's a quarterback, Superflex value, and you're getting him at a good price tag. I imagine a couple of these quarterbacks are going to jump up the board here, but at this range here, it's a cheap price. You know, if he gets some starts, if he gets some time, even if it's just 2-3 years as a starter and then he falls on his face, you're still getting some production out of that. At the 13th player off the board, you got like, what, 15%, maybe even 20% hit rate, if that. So you're getting a quarterback that's going to get you some starts. Is not a bad thing. At the 202 spot here, they drafted Rachaad White, running back from Arizona State. This dude can catch the ball in the backfield, had 42 catches this year, runs between the tackles, pretty nice. He has good vision, can read the momentum of the defenders around him. It's going to be very interesting to see where he goes in the draft because there are some people pegging him to fall, and there are some people pegging him to be drafted on day 2. Next running back who got selected in this draft at the 203 spot, Dameon Pierce, running back from Florida. Is kind of a sneaky pick here. Bigger running back who can run through faces. Looked good the Senior Bowl, had that Senior Bowl buzz. Draft capital is going to matter for him because I can see him going all over the board. I don't see him jumping up a bunch of rounds though, but situation is going to matter for this guy. Moving on to 204. Now we're going back to that wide receiver well. Here they selected Jahan Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State. Could be a first rounder. If he goes in the first round, that's going to solidify some of his value. If not, he may be just another guy in the second round of mock drafts. But Jahan Dotson does have some good things. Over 30% market share in each of his last 2 years. Good ball skills and some speed. To the 205 pick, another one of my guys going off the board. He fell kind of far. I don't like that. I don't like seeing that. But here they drafted George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. This dude is talented. He could jump ranks quick, especially if you get him in the right situation. He could end up being a wide receiver 1 at the next level. He has that kind of talent. He has some dog in him. He's aggressive. He's aggressive at the catch point. He's aggressive off press. He'll push dudes down and send them to hell. George Pickens is fun to watch. Moving on to 2-6. Maybe one of the better values of this draft. A safe pick here, depending on where he goes in the actual NFL draft. Here, they selected Carson Strong, quarterback from Nevada. Going to the quarterback well and getting him in the middle of the second round in the Superflex draft is never a bad bet. I'd rather get a cheap quarterback than pay up and take on some risk, especially if it's a quarterback from a similar talent. And the talent pool of this quarterback tree isn't that great. The leaves are wilted here. I like Carson Strong. Strong arm, sling it downfield. Could get decent draft capital, maybe a second rounder, maybe third. Who knows where he goes in the draft? I'm guessing somewhere in the second round. Could be a developmental prospect, but a guy that can hold value for you. Moving on to 207 pick here. Another one of my guys, one of my favorite running backs in this class. If I was making all these picks, he'd be drafted a little earlier, and that's Zamir White, running back from Georgia. This dude's got a little bit of Nick Chubb in him, runs with some bursts, good contact balance. He's probably going to get decent draft capital. Once people realize that, he's going to shoot up boards. We might as well shoot him up the boards now because he's got some talent to his game, and he can compete with some of these top running backs in this class. I'm going to say it right now. He can compete with some of these top guys. He may surprise you once he gets to the league. Going to the 208 spot here in the draft. Here they selected Sky Moore, wide receiver from Western Michigan. This guy's a very nuanced player. Good short area quickness, good suddenness in his game, runs a diverse route tree already at Western Michigan, and I see him being a good slot receiver at the NFL level. At the 209 spot in this draft, they selected Trey McBride, tight end from Colorado State. This guy had good receiving numbers, high market share numbers, catch the ball, runs decent routes, looked good at the Senior Bowl. Now it's time to see where he goes in the actual NFL draft. Going to the 210 spot in this draft, here they drafted Tyler Algier, running back from BYU. Very productive this season. He's a good size adjusted athlete. At 220 pounds, he's got some pop in his step. Again, he can catch the ball out of the backfield a little bit, has a good approach to the line of scrimmage, and can eat chunks of yards in the open field. Next player we're going to talk about is at the 211 spot in this draft, and here they drafted Desmond Ridder, quarterback of Cincinnati. Dude has some Konami code in his game, ran a 4.5 something 40-yard dash, has some speed to him, has a little bit of arm on him. Not the best quarterback of the bunch, little bit of risk, but at the end of the second round, this is probably the perfect price tag for him. If he exceeds expectations, if he goes to a good situation where he holds his value, this could be a good selection considering where he went at the draft. Here in the 212 pick, the last pick of this draft, they drafted Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State. This guy is a size-adjusted speed machine. He also runs decent routes. He won the Senior Bowl, one of the better-looking wide receivers there. He won the Combine. He's had a tremendous offseason. Stock's been going through the roof. As I started these mock drafts back November, December on the channel, was not even a thought. Wasn't even selected near the second round. Now we're seeing him in the second round, sometimes in the first round. We're seeing more chatter about him. Christian Watson's on the move, guys. But that's it for this draft. Let's read off this second round real quick before we head out. At the 201, they selected Kenny Pickett. 202, Rashad White. At 203, Damian Pierce. 204, Jahan Dotson. 205, George Pickens. 206, Carson Strong. 207, Zeus Zamir White. 208, Sky Moore. 209, Trey McBride. 210, Tyler Algier. 211 Desmond Ridder, and 212 Christian Watson. That's it for this rookie mock draft. Let me know who got overdrafted. Let me know who got underdrafted. Who do you like at what value? Who do you hate at what value? Also, don't forget to submit your question down in the comment section so I can hit that up on a video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. It fuels me to keep pumping out this content. Fuels me to keep doing these videos for you guys, to help you guys out, help you guys build your dynasties, help you guys with your rookie drafts and everything else. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.